May 5th, 2021. How's it going, guys? Just a quick little video. I had to go up and get some gas because I'm mowing right now, but I seen this Aspen vehicle. I see one of their workers, and you notice they got a hard hat on, and they also got reflective gear on too. They always usually have equipment. They have their harness equipment. They have everything that they need. This morning down there at 47th Street, down there on Willis, down there, uh, those guys working, they didn't have no hard hats on. They did have no anything protective wise on at all, equipment wise. Um, Unreal, because it's a real danger that somebody could either get hurt or get killed in something like that. Now, a lot of people don't understand that. I worked for a business downtown that actually had a window washing company. And the guys, they really hadn't been trained that well, and they were not using their harnesses and equipment like they were supposed to. And one of them fell and got killed. Not good. There's a reason why those hard hats are supposed to be used, especially if you're cutting limbs off trees. There's a reason why you're supposed to have your safety harness on. And if you're up in a bucket, I mean, you see those power light guys, you don't see them. They get all their equipment on, whether they're climbing a pole or whatever else. They don't, that's a must. Because they know that they have to have it, they need it, and that you have to have it if you want to stay alive on stuff. But this morning, that first limb they just dropped the limb over there. Now, I went out to the city, and I talked to city independents. And they told me that supposedly if they do anything like that, even they're supposed to actually have cones out. Now, I had posted a video here showing that, and I also showed it to the city independents out there, codes out there even. And they said, yeah, I said they're supposed to have cones and everything else. Well, when I filmed it, they had finally got it looked like a rope or something hooked onto those other branches when they were cutting them down. And looked like they cut the tree down finally over there when I got back, pretty much. But they had 3 or 4 guys on the ground. I didn't see, none of them looked like they had gloves on either. They didn't have any hard hats on. They didn't have any reflective gear on whatsoever. And the guy in the bucket, as you could see, I didn't see no harness or nothing on him or anything. Now, another problem with this is if you have a business, you're required by law to provide your employees, safety equipment. Another thing, guys, is that if you don't provide that equipment, somebody gets hurt or dies even. I mean, a business has to have business insurance to insure for their employees. If they're not providing the equipment, an insurance company can drop that business. If they find out that they're not providing their employees with adequate equipment to keep them safe, and a business is basically, paying, if they're not keeping those guys safe and providing them the correct equipment, an insurance company can actually pull the contract. So you don't have anything. One other thing, guys, real quick. You know that Blueview shopping mall up there? There's a lot of weird things that go on up there. Just always at night, sometimes even in the daytime. This Dodge Ram truck was sitting there. And what caught my eye about this thing, it didn't have no license plate on the back of it. Now, hold on. See, there's a few little businesses in there. I'm going to show you guys too. I actually got my hair. My son got our haircut one time at that First Cuts barber shop up there. Not too bad. This one guy was a trainee that cut our hair. Not too bad. But getting on with this, there's a vehicle right there. As you can see, it has no license plate. But the guy's sitting there with the brake light. And he's just sitting there. Now, this guy, looked fairly clean cut. Looked like he was 50 to 60 years old. Now, I'm not saying this is anything at all, but, when it comes to dealing in these drugs out here and stuff, their age plays no barrier on this. And, sometimes they use older people because they figure they're not going to get detected or the police aren't going to look at all this. But interesting because get this, the front bumpers got a license plate on it. Now, I couldn't see what it was, but the back one here, there is no license plate. And in Missouri, by law, you're supposed to have a license plate on the front. You're supposed to have a license plate on the back of it. But this is that area, I posted a couple of videos where the guys were over there real late at night and they were meeting up, dealing something. And then we had another guy who was over there by that dumpster. And there's been multiple things going on up here all the time. And see, this runs into Kansas City, Missouri, okay, at the top of the hill. It's right on the border on this. But might have been nothing. I mean, this older guy, though, he looked, like I said, pretty dressed. I mean, when the people you see in this area aren't usually very dressy. They're just normal, average people. Or, other people that don't look too great. But, I mean, this looked like somebody that would be like an American Legion or down there at the tool shed or something like that. I don't know. This just looked strange. But anyway, guys, just a short little video. And like I say, always wear your safety gear. It's a good thing. Businesses should provide equipment to any of their employees that don't matter, no matter what. And a lot of things come of this too. I could talk about a lot of other things too at the place that I worked at. I mean, they sold different chemicals. They sold cleaning supplies and other things. They worked on street sweepers. They went out and buffed floors. They did a little bit of everything. Actually, they even had one guy that died. He was basically he's Latin, he's Mexican, and he didn't have the stripper, basically chemical to put in the machine, so he poured gasoline into the machine, and when he turned it on, it exploded. I've seen many things here and lots of things in the city, and just unbelievable. But like I say, it's good to have safety gear. And like I say, there's a reason why OSHA is out there and watches these businesses. Even like in these places like where they clean tables and stuff like that, they came finally there. They're supposed to have, in restaurants and places, when they spray the tables down and clean them and other stuff. I don't know what's changed since COVID-19, but they were color coded. So they knew which chemicals to use, so they didn't use the wrong chemicals on the tables and stuff like that. Anyway, guys, just a heads up. Have a good one.